You are so horrible, PDD. You are so heartless that what you're trying to do is you want to run them to the ground with nothing, no self-respect, no confidence in themselves anymore, nothing. It's a form of devaluation. You sought to devalue these people in the most humiliating way possible. Kai! Oh my God, I can't imagine. He needed to know if Rodney was remembering or had begun to remember. So hi guys, how are we all doing today, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Chinyere of juliettsstyleglam. If it's your first time here with me, thank you so much for being here. And if you're already subscribed to this amazing channel, you are superbly welcome. So you guys, this is a part 2 of the PDD. So today's video is about the part 2 of the PDD, the Sean Combs PDD, whoever he calls himself, documentary that is still airing on Netflix. And by the way, it is at #1 in France. Yes. Yay! Anyway, so this is my second time watching, and sometimes when you're watching things like this, you tend to, the first one because I was so excited, but then I took my time to listen again, to watch it again. And by God, right? It's crazy. So we're going to start first with, again, let's talk about his artists, right? I'm going to put this one, please. It may be long, it may be short, I don't know, but bear with me because I'm coming with, receipts. So, when we were, living in the 90s, we all thought, okay, the music, Sean Combs was everything and more at the time. I recall very well, right? And so, come to find out, okay, that Jadakiss and Styles P actually had issues with him, and it was aired on radio. It's not as if it was, something strange. It was aired on radio. We first of all, again, the question is, why don't you ever pay your artists? You are owing everyone. You don't pay the artist. And so we get into this particular audio. It was actually on a radio. So I'm going to put it's because at a point everyone starts screaming at each other, right? So it's going to make sense from the beginning. And after a while, it's going to everyone is going to be, yelling at each other. So, but again, that's exactly how it aired out on the radio. And so this is not just this is not just, the artist that did this documentary. We are talking about an MO. We're talking about, strings and trails of artists who have complained about not being paid. So I'm going to allow you guys to listen to this audio.
Down with Bad Boy, so we let y'all go. Y'all want to be down with us, we let y'all go, we keep it moving. But to get on there and portray like somebody got to go and steal and rob and be shysting, y'all, that ain't really correct. You know what I'm saying? First of all, I'm at my office right now. I'm always accessible. Y'all ain't got to get on the radio and do certain tactics and do certain things to ever holler at me. Jadakiss, last time I saw you, I told you, let's get together, let's talk. You know what I'm saying? I told you I'm accessible. I said if anything don't come, if there's somebody standing in the way for you expressing yourself, if any of y'all expressing yourself, y'all can come get at me directly. You know what I'm saying? All that throwing the refrigerator and you going to kill, y'all ain't killing nobody, man. You know what I'm saying? We businessmen. We all mature adults. Say all that right there. I'm at my office. Y'all can sit on this interview with her and talk as long as y'all want to talk about it, or you can take the invitation I gave you before. But it's not even getting there because of your get on the radio, whatever tactics. I ain't your enemy.
Dog, we just
you need to bang like that on cats that's coming at you. I ain't your enemy.
Just yesterday we got a note from your office saying you don't have no idea of none of this or none of nothing. Just yesterday, your lawyer told us that. I see you at the show backstage. You said find out what it was.
But don't sit here and portray like Puff took nothing from y'all.
What is it? What is it? What do you call it? If it's 10 years, what do you call it? And don't say we can come to your office or do none of that, because we can't do none of that. We can't handle it no other way but with lawyers, and you know that, so don't get on the radio and act like a tough guy or none of that.
Wait, you know how we can settle?
You acting tough.
I'm in my office, so why don't we stop talking on the radio?
Now, you want people to stop talking because you just don't want to know the truth, dog. We made one record with you. Money, Power, Respect. It's 10 years later, and you still got half of our publishing. Now, there's no way you can make it justifiable that you deserve half of our publishing.
You to my face. We just at the concert. You ain't saying nothing.
What are we going to do saying it to your face? Get sued? What do you want us to do? We can't touch. We can't be violent or none of that. We can't even have. You saying all this, dog? 2 years ago, levels in Miami.
Let's real recognize real. Y'all know where the office is at. There's a big sign on it. I'm gonna be here.
The whole National Guard's downstairs too. Cut it out, man. We can't talk in this. I'm a grown ass man, man. You're a coward.
And I don't take nothing.
You're a thief, You're a coward. Don't say you're a thief.
Okay.
You're a thief.
Come to the office, man. Come to the office so we can straighten it out then.
Yo, how we just 3 guys you don't even mess with. You had your Ace publishing.
You call me whatever you
won't let his publishing go.
I'm at the office.
You won't let your man's publishing go.
You gonna argue in front of New York. That's the way you want to
do. You own your man's publishing, dog?
Ain't nothing to y'all, man.
Do you own your man's publishing?
New York could believe it or whatever.
Do you own your man's publishing?
I can sleep good at night because I ain't never did nothing to y'all. And if y'all ever want
to you had a whole bunch of artists that had Puffy. Dog, you had a bunch of artists whose careers never went right with you, dog. Be for real, dog. Look at the list. Look at your list. We don't want to be violent. You the artist that did best for yourself. Look at your list, dog. Look at all the artists you dealt with. Look at the situation they dealt with. You know, 12 not happy with you gone. Faith not happy with you gone. We not happy with you gone. Bass not happy with you gone.
Wow. All right, he hung up. He's gone.
And we're back. And so, we now begin to understand that, this guy actually has a modus operandi. Now, I want to also talk about Craig Mack. And why is Craig Mack's painful as well? Craig Mack was that artist that we listened to. I don't know, his kind of rap was sounding very much like it was like a blues R&B blues rap. I don't know, but I mean, for those who don't know Craig Mack was the person who sang Flavor in Your Ear. And, just like that, I didn't even know that Craig Mack was late until this documentary aired. And Craig Mack died, I think I have the information somewhere here. Craig Mack died sometime in, and it's according to Wikipedia. So just a second, please. All right. So Craig Mack, I have it here. So Craig Mack died in March 12th of 2018. He was just 47. He died so young. And according to the story, he was born in May 10th of 1970, and he had his stint with Bad Boy Records again. And then he released his first single, Flavor in Your Ear, and which peaked at the Billboard's Hot 100 top 10. And, he got into with his second top 40 single, Get Down, Operation Get Down, in 1997. And it was released by Scotty Brothers Records. Now, Craig Mack was married and had 2 children, a son and a daughter. And we now find out that Craig Mack died on the 12th of March. Now, according to the story on Wikipedia, the cause of death was originally reported as congestive heart failure, which Mack had claimed as a health problem in 2014. And according to the rapper Eric Sermon, Mack called his friends around 6 months before his death to bid farewell as his health was declining. After his death, tributes were posted to social media by musicians LL Cool J, DJ Scratch, and others. It was later revealed that Mack died of HIV and AIDS. He had known of the diagnosis but had refused treatment, and he had wanted his family, Mack's family had followed his wishes in reporting the heart failure account rather than reporting the HIV AIDS diagnosis. And I understand, okay? Now, we are going to hear another audio, Craig Mack talking about working and writing for a record label, and that the record label only paid him a third of the amount of money that he was supposed to get. And he said after that he decided, well, he was done with it. So I'm going to roll that tape and we're going to listen to that.
That was somebody, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say their names. I'm just going to say somebody that wanted to do another album with me. So I said, cool. I gave him my price. And the price was, to me, was low. You know, and they were supposed to give me the money. And I go in the studio and I start banging out. So he came to me and was like, yo, I can only cut you a third of the money I'm supposed to give you. I said, you know what, man, I want to do these songs. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to do this and that and the third, let's do it. You give me the money as we go. You know what I'm saying? I'll take a third again. I'll take a third again when we finish the actual recording of the album. Nothing happened. No money. So I stopped recording. I said, I'm not going to be an idiot and sit here and do all this stuff for everybody, and I'm not going to see anything from it. You know, next thing I know, money comes, you know, with this bullish mafia mentality with him and his goons and all that stuff like that. You know, talking about, yo, you know, you owe us an album. And I'm like, excuse my friends, but I don't owe you shit. You owe me money. You know what I'm saying? So if you come up with the rest of this dough, then we can come up with the rest of the album. No dough, no records. That's it. I don't think you know what you mean when you're saying that, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what type of dude I am. You know what kind of muscle I got. You know what I'm saying? Right now, you need to be in the studio. So I said, all right, meet me up there at 7 o'clock. And I went.
Okay, so welcome back. And, you know, we now see that it's just going on and on and on. What I have and what I can say about the theory about those of them who left and are alive is that they decided, F the money, they were not interested anymore. Let them find their way, you know, to somewhere else. For them to be alive today, I think they decided they were done. It was good. This is where it's going to end for them. Because this relationship, I'm going to break it down. The relationship this man had and he always wanted to have with his artists or his writers or whatever was totally insane. And there is a psychology behind it. Again, predators. It's something I keep repeating. Sexual predators, right? They all have the same rule book. They try to draw you in. They draw you in with things that you want, things that you desire, things that you really, really be difficult for you to say no to. And the thing about it is that P. Diddy was doing it at a very, 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 very high scale. He wasn't doing it with kids, right? Or, you know, people that you could actually collect, you could actually, lure with very small things. No, P. Diddy was not just taking he wasn't just luring you in. He was taking your talent. He was depriving you of your money. He was taking everything that rendered you to be a human being who had scruples, who had principles, who was disciplined. He was doing it. A lot of people are going to ask this question. How did you all fall in line? I mean, I said it in the last video. He had enablers. How did they all fall in line? How was it easy for each and every one of these people to fall in line? That is the $1 million question. And again, I don't want to jump the gun, but we are going to take this one at a time. Now, I want to go to again, we're going to talk about Kirk Burrows and Danity Kane. To hear Kirk, and I'm going to talk about Kirk Burrows because his own his story is so painful. For Kirk to, again, you see this, what I said, he wants you, he takes your talent, your hard work, your God-given gifts, he takes it from you. He kidnaps it. He kidnaps you, kidnaps your brain, kidnaps your soul, kidnaps your morals. He takes all that away from you. I am sure a lot of people somewhere are going to be saying, but they were not forced. No, they did not need to be forced. They did not need to be forced. All he needed to do was make it look as if it was going to be raining money. All he needed to do was make them understand that there was something great happening. Because listen to that. If you go back to that, documentary again, every time he was with everyone, he had this constant thing about hyping everything. When he did the Love album with Rodney, the same thing. The hype, and it is something that he has mastered. So hyping, pushing, it gets everybody to be, we are on the same page. We shouldn't be doing anything different. This is for the interests. Again, another language that comes is for the interests of the group. We are looking for number one album. We're going to be looking for Grammys, this and that, and all what not. That was always, again, you see, predators, they have no problem they know exactly what to do. And again, like I said, P. Diddy had a recipe. Not just a recipe, he had a particular ingredient that helped it work. We're going to get down to the analysis towards the end of this video. Now, we also talk about, what's his name? We now get to talk about, what's his name? Oh God, the guy Rodney Jones. We now get to Rodney Jones. Rodney Jones actually talking, again, I'm just bringing out, again, the whole methodology that he played. Rodney was there. Again, Rodney he said it, that the money he was going to make out of this song, this job, was going to make him take care of his kids, do this, do that. What did P. Diddy do? He said he only got 29,000. Only 29,000 out of a whole job from the Love album that this guy helped him to do. But what else did P. Diddy do? P. Diddy separated him from everybody. What did he do? He took him to Miami. And it was at that point Rodney was supposed to be, let me use the word, sequestered, but he did not know that he was being sequestered. He lived in his house, he was eating his food, he was flying him out, he was doing this and that and all what not. Rodney thought, this is how it goes. And he was busy churning out the music, churning out the beats, churning out the words, and everything seemed to be flowing well. Now, Rodney gets to be inebriated, has no clue, and things are happening around him. He's waking up to him on the bed, women on the bed, things happening around him, and he has no clue. But he says, he feels pain. The same thing we're hearing from other people who have actually, put out the same thing. Inebriated, not knowing. Again, I am saying this and I'm coming out with this particular point because you all know that I did the video on Giselle Pellicot, whom her husband inebriated, same fashion, the same thing. Difference is the husband got people to go and do and perform sexual acts on his wife. Okay, so again, same MO, inebriating, and again, I didn't update you guys. France has actually now declared that consent, whether the person is asleep or awake, if the person does not give consent, then it is considered rape. It was passed into law after Giselle Pellicot's case. And I will tell you, so these people were inebriated. For them to be inebriated and sexual acts were committed and carried out on them is cause for a crime against humanity. Again, the whole thing, it's looking very sinister. It is very sinister. This is not funny, and there is a lot at play here. We're going to talk about the jury. Okay, we're definitely going to be talking about the jury. And so we are seeing a situation where Rodney says, what is going on? Now Rodney begins to call, because again, at this point, Rodney is like, okay, I'm done. I've had a good run with this. I am not sure what is going on anymore. Can I have my money? And dude is not getting his money. He's calling him. Are you listening to the kind of excuses he's giving? Again, the same thing. It's about the bigger picture. This, that, we're making hits. This, that. That's not what he called you for. He called you for his money. He called you that he should be paid. But you are selling him a dream. The dream is being sold. You are comfortable, but this guy isn't comfortable. He needs to pay. He needs to pay bills. He needs to take care of his children, his home. He has a mortgage to pay, right? But no, P. Diddy is saying, a million and one things out there. Now this is where it gets tricky, and this is where it gets funny. Beautiful Rodney decides, okay, I'm not calling you anymore. Because again, Rodney is asking himself, something is not right here. What is going on with me? I don't understand the whole of this thing. What is going on? And then we see P. Diddy calling incessantly, calling and dropping messages like a panicked jackal, calling. And this guy is not picking, and you're calling because he's panicked. At that point, if anyone does not understand what happened there, when Rodney said he had never received so many calls as much as that, and this is from a man, it was simple. P. Diddy was panicking. He needed to know, again, this is what happens with people who commit heinous acts. He needed to know if Rodney was remembering. Kai! Oh my God, I can't imagine. He needed to know if Rodney was remembering or had begun to remember. And so that was why he was calling. He was calling this dude to really understand his state of mind, to know whether this person, does he remember now? Do you understand? So that if he does, he would, again, tell him, oh no, it cannot be possible. It's your imagination. Who would do that to you? No, do you think I'm an animal or something? Again, you quell their emotions down and their anxiety and their panic. And, who knows, whatever would have, but he was in panic mode. He just needed to know what was going on. Meanwhile, you are owing this person. You are now acting as though he's your brother. And then you essayed this person. You inebriated them against their will for 1 year plus. And then what is much more important to you at that point is to find out how much they can remember. If people cannot read between the lines, I'm reading between the lines here. Do you understand that P. Diddy, looking at him from this documentary, I will explain something to you. P. Diddy is a little man. You're looking at him, he's got no presence, right? He's got no presence. He's got no charisma. He's got nothing. And you see, people like this are very dangerous because, again, since he was not raised or trained, right? P. Diddy decided to pick his masculinity or grow his masculinity from what he picked up on the streets. If we look at that documentary again, we now see that he didn't frolic with characters that he frolicked with characters that were questionable. We have a story of a guy who did the same thing, okay, who inebriated women and then had his way with them, right? And these are people that he was friends with. So these are people that he saw and he sought his moral code from, or his affiliation with the gang. He's not a gang member, but he has an affiliation to the gang. Why? To give him some form of street credit. You see? So he modeled his masculinity around the things and the people, right, who he felt, because again, look at him from when he began. The body, the walk, he looked like someone. I mean, I remember listening to Tupac's when I listened to Tupac's rap, Get Money, he said, when he said, I hope it's that one, he said something in the corridors of, you all look like you got sickle cell or something. Tupac was onto that guy. I don't know, but he knew. And so if you look at him, you just realize that this dude, right, you know, you would consider him a nerd, right? That's what you would consider P. Diddy as. He was that nerd, you know, front teeth coming out, you know, bulging out. He had that look. He wasn't someone who was... P. Diddy is not someone who's exceptionally... He doesn't strike me as someone who's exceptionally brilliant. Okay? If you look at the morphology in science, you know, when you look at, you know, there are certain traits that you see with people, and he doesn't strike me as that kind of person. And so he there is need for him to have this, to impose this character, this person, this persona that is larger than life and powerful. He has that need for that. He has that need to look that way, to be that God or demigod, and he wants it, and he wants to be known. He wants people to actually see him as, these are the people, the pioneers, because again, there is no how you can talk about 90s music without involving P. Diddy. You see? So he this is what he wanted. He needed that demigod status for himself. But get this, look at when you look at the quality of the person there is actually nothing. So I talked to you guys, I said, but there is an ingredient that he relies on, and P. Diddy relied on. The ingredient he relies on and he relied on is money. You see, P. Diddy understood very quickly, as young as he was, 19, 20, whatever, when he started working with Andre, he understood very quickly that he needed money to make people overlook anything that he did. Again, let's look at the transition from the stampede that happened at the New York University, where he held a concert or whatever, okay? And then he was able to get off. He was like, okay, bam, I got this one. He read the situation very quickly, and he knew. And so the major ingredient he needed was money, and then the hype. And then after that, everything fell into place for him. Everything. And my prayer is that with the other 77 pending lawsuits, he's going nowhere. With the other pending lawsuits, he's going to remain in jail. Now, I want to talk about how did P. Diddy get here? I talked about the fact that how he was able to play on people. Yes. But the thing about it was that if they did not enable him, and how did the enabling happen? It wasn't intentional. Though I will tell you that some of them looked and sounded very intentional, but the enabling wasn't intentional. What happened, again, like I said, he took away from them. The only person I will tell you, and looking like, anything could have escaped, is his chief of staff, the KK lady, right? Because she's a white woman. So I think for him, it was important and it was imperative that, okay, I'm paying her well enough to shut up. And she was doing a perfect job with ensuring that everything that happened where P. Diddy was concerned was kept under lock and key. She was the person to go to. She was the person to talk to. She was the person, if you wanted anything to blow out of proportion or stay in the circle, she was the one. And she knew exactly what to do. And she knew exactly how to do it. So that everyone fell in line. They enabled him, yes. But it wasn't an enablement that happened with... Let me put it this way. Again, like I said, the promises he made to them seemed attainable. Why? Because he had the lifestyle. And so for them, watching him with the lifestyle was like, okay, my turn will come. I will, it will come. But it never came. He just kept stringing them along. And he just kept stringing everyone along. But nothing came. And so this is where I always tell us, we must be very careful, extremely careful about the people that we decide we are doing anything for. I used to be that person where, and I won't say I have stopped, but I am that person that if you want something, I will go with you to wherever you need to get it. I will. But I'm learning to read the room. And I'm telling you, this started for me as late as just last year. I'm learning to read the room where I am now before I can step foot and say, oh, I am doing such and such, or I am walking the 10 toes deep for anyone right now. But if you want me to go, I will. I'm that kind of person. But I'm learning to read the situation and read the room. You see, PDD is what we call 419. You see, most of those, I've explained how 419 works before. I don't know if many of you have watched the video. I'm going to hang it here so that you guys can watch. When I was doing the review for To Kill a Monkey. So when you are with a fraudster, right? That is exactly their MO. They draw you, they keep, drawing you in, you keep giving. That's exactly how they work. So they get you the moment they are able to, the moment you are able to connect with them. They always ask yourself, who is the person doing the giving? If you see yourself doing more of the giving without getting back anything in return, know that you're being conned. If there's every time that you give and then there are excuses that follow every time you ask for what is your due, and there are excuses all the time, know that you're being conned. At that moment, you are being conned. Like, that's it. And that was, he was running a con game with Bad Boy and all of them. He was running a con game that was working. Ça marche à merveille pour lui, en fait. Do you understand? And so I want to go to the juries. Sorry, what am I saying? The jury. I want to read from my notes because my notes was very, very, there are some things I know I'm not going to remember. So, first of all, we are finding out that Juror 160 is a complete fan of P. Diddy. They even have a picture together. You see the internet. I trust you people. Internet, I trust una die. I'm going to find the picture here. Yes, Juror 160 had met Diddy. She's a big fan. I talked extensively about the other guy, and I'm like, listen, this human is so out of touch. No dice. But you see, Juror 160, she knew. She was fangirling. Even in 50 Cent's chapeau. Even while doing the documentary, right? She was still fangirling. I'm looking at this girl. I'm looking at this chick. And the things that are coming out of her mouth. Because the first one I was like, she seemed like she wasn't convinced. But she was like, well, I'm a fan. But she said she wasn't a fan, that she liked his music. No, she was fangirling so hard. So hard. She could have orgasmed at that point. What? I will say it again, 50 cents, I doff my hat to you, because making us see what exactly the jury consisted of was a telltale sign of everything that we can imagine that happened behind the scenes. Or are we talking about the PR machine? A corroborative story. PDD said that the relation, no, what am I saying? I need to get all of this. Okay, I can't find it. Like I said, I made notes, but the notes are everywhere, so I can't find it. So again, like I was saying, Juror 160 was, the PR machine corroborates with what the audio said, what the video that they got from PDD. He said they should be running comms. It is comms, and so we know we are seeing we are busy seeing content creators running comms, running PR, and the whole thing changed, and the jury was not sequestered. So the jury was going home free and getting information from anywhere they could get it, and they could have been approached by anybody. Because please help me understand how PDD got only 50 months. Please, I can't understand. I mean, Tissa tells is someone that I've known her from on YouTube for what, and when she says that they actually approached her, she confirmed that story, that she was approached. Okay, corroborating that video over PDD saying that they needed to do PR heavily. Now, what is also, like I said, everyone knew what PDD was doing. Every one of them in his staff, they all knew what this guy was doing. But like I said, KK, remember, he calls her out. He said, KK, you are in on this too, which brings me to a very, very important and vital part of this, because he called her out. He said, KK, you are also part of this. And KK spins it and said, oh, the PR. But we all know that was not what we all know that was not what PDD was referring to. Look at PDD and the way he was shaking. He was so afraid. He was so scared. But it's weird that you are in such a mountain of trouble, but for one moment in the whole of your discourse on tape, there was nothing that made you did not even touch the issue of the gravity of the offense you committed, or the offenses you committed. You did not behave as if you did anything wrong. All you were interested in was how you would get off the hook. That in and of itself is telling. Every speech that came out of your mouth, everything you were planning, plotting, all you wanted was, I need to get out of this, which tells me that you are as guilty as they come. That was all you, it was so obvious. Your focus was, how do I get out of this? You said, well, it's not, whatever it is that is happening, the lawyers were doing, it's not working. Yeah, that was your interest, the sole interest you had was how to get out of this mess. Not the fact that you were remorseful. In fact, the fact that you even did anything to Cassie did not even cross your mind. We even see you witness tampering. Kalina, iwu ewu dodoyo. Iwu hima. I'm not going to go where you are. You are iwu. Anyway, now let's go to the next point. Inebriating people to commit sexual acts on them. Let me ask you a question. What is the end game? What's the end? What were you supposed to be achieving? it's supposed to be an experience for two people. How do you inebriate people and they don't remember? What is the whole point? I ask that question so many times when I get and I have the answer. The answer is a humility ritual. You are so horrible, PDD. You are so heartless that what you're trying to do is you want to run them to the ground with nothing, no self-respect, no confidence in themselves anymore, nothing. It's a form of devaluation. You sought to devalue these people in the most humiliating way possible, because it kept going up in my mind. Why would you do this? Why would someone do this? But I get it. It is for you to come out having that false bravado that you carry. Carrying out that false bravado and trying to show people that you are this person. Meanwhile, you are nothing. You are less than nothing. It's a devaluation thing. It's a way to strip them of everything that makes them human. And so they keep groveling at your feet, begging for the scraps that they should not be begging for, but their own money, their own wealth, their own talents. I'm asking, how did none of these people... It's a genuine question, because, again, suffice it to the fact that I live in Europe, and Europe is highly regulated, right? And so in Europe, it is against the law that someone is working for you and the person is not paid. The people that are around you to carry your matter, even before you get to the judiciary, there are many. So I'm asking myself, right? How are you working? Do you know what it is that you're writing a song, you're creating the beats, you're doing this, you're doing every part of this thing. There is money that is to be made, and that you're doing all of this, whether he puts you up in his house or he puts you up under his in his garage, is inconsequential. The time, the money, everything. Time is money. And I'm asking, how are you all doing all of this? And there is nowhere you can go to seek redress. There is no organization, nobody, nothing that stands that you can seek redress from. For example, in France, we've got different ones. They've got Prud'homme, we've got Inspection du Travail. There are so many of them. They stand. There is even the one for discrimination and harassment. These are the bodies that exist, so that by the time they are done with the people that discriminated or assaulted you, the person will be afraid to even get to the judiciary, because they stand in that form. And in most cases, they are found guilty. When you are carried there, you are found guilty. So please, why and how? Rodney, I'm speaking to you. I'm speaking to Audrey. I'm speaking to all the people that worked for this guy and with this guy. I'm speaking to Jadakis. I'm speaking to Stacey. I'm speaking to all of them. How did you all cope? How did you continue to do this? And there was nowhere for you to seek redress. Everything had to be left to him. It is a lot. It is seriously a lot. And I'm going to end this with I won't say let me end this, but let me broach Kirk Burrows. Dear Kirk, I'm so sorry. If you are the worst hit, and in no small way. I am so sorry. Looking at Kirk, I was moved to tears. Blood, sweat, tears. And at the end of the day, nothing. No home, no clothes, nothing. And when this guy decided it was time for him to take this matter to court, he lost. And it was easy for him to have lost. Don't you all see? It was easy for Kirk to have to lose, because he doesn't have the kind of money this guy has to throw at lawyers. So yes, but in all of this, PDD did not anticipate Kirk Burrows would still be standing. You see, as always, every other person around him has passed away. Andre, Tupac, Biggie, Craig Mack, and so as they're all gone. But you see, because he's such an evil person, and because he's such a selfish individual, he did not, I'm sure he has forgotten that Kirk Burrows exists. I'm sure he's forgotten. And so, my question, how is it that Kirk was not a key witness in this case? They missed it. How is it that Kirk, because Kirk has dirt, mounds and mounds and mounds of dirt on PDD. How did the prosecutors miss it? Kirk is the person you people needed for the RICO charge. Kirk is the person you people needed for every charge, sexual assault, everything. It was Kirk you all needed. How did you people miss Kirk? This goes to say something. 50 Cent did his homework, because, again, 50 Cent putting all this together and making this possible, in making so much sense that the attorney's office could not even. How did you all miss Kirk Burrows? I heard that there's a part 2. I can't wait. Please confirm. If you know if that is on authority, please confirm it in the comment section below. Kirk was the biggest smoking gun. He is the biggest smoking gun. Imagine trying to overturn Biggie's contracts. And I think that was where PDD decided it was time for Kirk to go. When Kirk refused, that was when he decided it's time for you to go. That was exactly what happened. Because, Kirk, I am praying for you, Kirk Burrows. You will get your money. From Bad Boys Records, you will get everything, every penny. You're going to get it. Kirk, you will not die poor or wretched. You're going to get your money to the last letter. You will. The God we serve he's not a liar. You will get your money. But this is a lesson. You know, in France, there's something we always say. And you see a lot of people who say things like that. That, you know, when you work for somebody, you are growing, you are realizing, or you are making another person's dream come true. It's something you say in France that, listen, you work in France, nobody is going to ever, in fact, even your employer, if you try it, you have a problem with them. That you come to work and you stay after close of work. When you are not being paid, it doesn't happen. So it's a thing here. You don't stay beyond your time. Do you get? So all I'm just saying is, when you are dealing with people, the contract. You see that there are things that I feel like in a contract are non-negotiable. Your payout, the things you are going to negotiate for, your percentage, your royalties, those things are, you can't joke with it. And this is something that even in Nigeria we have it a lot. Artists being siphoned out of their money, royalties and all. And they always tell you, get a lawyer, get to this, get to that. But there's no problem. PDD, this smoking gun is going nowhere. The attorney's office, this is what I'm going to say to you. You better start looking for a new element in this case. Better start looking for a new element in this case to put this guy away for good. He does not deserve anything. He doesn't deserve it. And in the wake of this documentary, Kirk Burrows, I think it's a new element for you to be able to use to file again. 25% is not moi moi. It's not beans. It's 25%. You know how much money that is? Stocks. This thing is painful, eh? It hurts me inside. I'm not playing. It hurts me inside. How someone can use their own fellow human being to this extent. No heart. No remorse. Nothing. And this is where I'm going to end this. Justin Combs. I said it in the last video. We have been looking at the wrong Peking. Yes, I was clear. I said very soon we're going to be hearing the kids, the boys, doing their own. You see, Justin, that one. If Justin is involved in free cuffs with his father, it is not because of anything. It's because his father is teaching him. Because he's the one that the company will be handed over to. So the father is teaching him how he runs the company. This is how I run the show. That's what his father is teaching him, how he runs the show. They should be picked up and fast and put in an asylum somewhere, because those kids, those boys, I don't know about the girls, but you see those boys and that king, they are learning. That is if they have not become already, masters of the game. Because somebody has to continue now. Somebody has to continue the father's legacy. And that is going to be... And again, let me sound this. You see all you celebrities that are quiet. All of you that your mouths are shut. I've said it and I'm going to say it again. That all of you, God will visit, the wrath of God will visit all of you. You're all quiet, Abby. It's your silence is all very loud. Even Eminem rapped about this man and what he did. All of you that have sealed your mouth and busy talking about for the culture. Which stupid culture? A culture of rape? A culture of SA? A culture of inebriation? A culture of taking people's will and power from them? A culture of keeping people devalued and humiliated? What culture are you protecting? Please, I need somebody to answer that question for me. Which for the culture? All of you that have sealed your mouths, many of you did collaborations with this guy. Many of you, and you people cannot say and deny that you did not know what was happening. Many of you went to his house for parties. Many of you stayed in those parties overnight. But all of you, they have used needle to sew your mouths. God will visit all of you one by one. Anyway, on this note, please, you guys, do not fail to leave your comments, share this video, share it, and subscribe to my channel. I can see that we are growing. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in my next video. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. Bye.